Okay. In our last class, we discussed that the structure of anther and what are the male reproductive unit, that is stamen. So stamen consists of the two parts like anther and filament. And this anther, which is made up of the four walls. So it is surrounded by four walls, and in the cavities of this anther there is microsporangium, the sac-like structures which are called microsporangium. So generally in the angiosperms there is a dithecous type of anthers are present. So dithecous anther, which are consists of two lobes. And in each lobe there are two sac-like structures which are called microsporangia. So there are totally in angiosperms 4 microsporangia are present in the anthers, and these microsporangia consists of a meristematic tissue from which actually the pollen grains are formed. When we discussed about the walls of the anther, there are 4 walls are present in the anther. There is epidermis and endothecium, middle layers and tapetum. So these are the 4 layers in the anther wall. So anther wall totally made up of 4 layers: epidermis, endothecium, middle layers, then tapetum. And this tapetum surrounds the microsporangial tissue or microsporangia. So inside each microsporangium there is a meristematic tissue which is called, when the anther is in young stage, this tissue is called, or these cells are called primary sporangious cells. So primary sporangious cells are formed from the meristematic cells or meristematic tissue. When the meristematic tissue undergo mitotic divisions, then these primary sporangious cells are formed which are in diploid. So these are in diploid condition. When anther get matured, these primary sporangious cells develops microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cells, and again here also the primary sporangious cells undergo mitotic division. Mitotic cell division. So as a result of this mitotic cell division, the microspore mother cells also incorporated with the 2 sets of chromosomes. So here also the ploidy is diploid. And now we will come to the actual process, microsporogenesis, the formation and differentiation of the microspores or pollen grains is called microsporogenesis. So microsporogenesis is the process of formation of microspores or pollen grains. Microspores are also known as pollen grains. From the microspore mother cells. From microspore mother cells. MMC is for microspore mother cells. So here, when the microsporogenesis from the MMC, microspore mother cells, so here the first microspore mother cells undergo meiotic division because these microspores are haploid in nature. So microspore mother cell, which is in diploid condition, it undergoes meiotic cell division. Meiotic cell division. So as a result of this microspore mother cell meiotic division, here from each microspore mother cell, 4 microspores are formed. So that is called tetrad. Tetrad means from each microspore mother cell, when it undergoes the meiotic cell division, the tetrads are formed. These tetrads are called microspore tetrads or pollen tetrads. When microspore mother cell undergo meiotic cell division, it forms microspore tetrads, or these are also known as pollen tetrads, and these are in haploid condition. So these tetrads are in haploid condition. So here, on the basis of the cytokinesis which occurs in this, the types of this cell division is 2 types. One is simultaneous type. Simultaneous type, and the second one is successive type. Successive type. Simultaneous type. So in this type of cell division, the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is the process of division of cytoplasm. So this cytokinesis occurs after both meiotic divisions are completed. So we know that meiotic divisions takes place for 2 times, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So this cytokinesis occurs after 2 meiotic divisions completed. So first meiotic 1 completes, then meiosis 2 completes. So after second meiotic cell division, the cytokinesis occurs. This type of cell division is called simultaneous type, and it observed in dicots. So example for this is in dicots. And successive type, it is an advanced type. So here, in the successive type of cell division, the cytokinesis occurs after each meiotic cell division. So here, first meiotic division, second meiotic division. After these 2 meiotic divisions, cytokinesis occurs. But in successive type, first meiotic division takes place. So meiosis 1. After the meiosis 1, cytokinesis. After this cytokinesis, again meiosis 2. After this meiosis 2, then cytokinesis once again. So this is successive type. So very simple differentiation. In the simultaneous type, after 2 meiotic divisions, cytokinesis occurs. In successive type, after each meiotic division, the cytokinesis occurs. Example for this is monocots. It is observed in monocots. So after this cytokinesis or after this meiotic division completes, then microspore tetrads are formed. And the types of tetrads are different in different types of families or plants. So we'll see that types of tetrads. There are 5 types of tetrads are present in different angiosperms. The first one is tetrahedral tetrads. So these tetrahedral tetrads is in the shape of so this is the tetrahedral shape. And the second one is isobilateral tetrads. In isobilateral tetrads, the tetrads are arranged in the equally arranged on 4 sides. Isobilateral. And the third one is decussate. Decussate type of tetrads are arranged in so this is decussate type of tetrads. And fourth type is linear. So in the linear, all 4 tetrads are arranged in a single line. Linear. And the fifth type is T-shaped tetrads. T-shaped tetrads. So there are totally 5 types of tetrads are there. The first one is tetrahedral type of tetrads, and second isobilateral, decussate, linear, and T-shaped tetrad. So in the different angiosperms, any one type of tetrad is present. In generally in dicards there is tetrahedral type of tetrads are present, and in monocards isobilateral are present. And there is one plant with all 5 types of tetrads, that is Aristolochia elegans. Aristolochia elegans, and it is a dicot perennial plant in which all 5 types of tetrads are formed. But in general, any one type of tetrad is formed. So generally, in dicards tetrahedral, in monocards isobilateral tetrads are formed. So after formation of these tetrads, they are separated from the microsporangia. So after formation of these tetrads, in each there are 4 cells are present. So these 4 are separated from the microsporangia. And now you will see the development of male gametophyte. Development of male gametophyte. So after the separation of these tetrads, then from each cell, each tetrad is undergo the mitotic cell division. So as a result of this mitotic cell division, it produces two cells. So that is, two unequal sized cells are produced, which is called generative cell, and tube cell. So from each cell undergo the mitotic cell division. As a result of that, two different types of cells are produced. One is generative cell and another one is tube cell. So just we will recall the structure of pollen grain or microspore. Pollen grain or microspore. So this microspore, which is formed from the tetrads. So from each megasporangium there are 4 sporangia cells, or the tetrads are formed. So from these are called microspores or pollen grains. The cell wall of the pollen grain or microspore is called sporoderm. Cell wall of microspore is called sporoderm, and this sporoderm is made up of 2 layers: outer exin and inner intine layers. Exin and intine. So exin is the outermost layer, and which is made up of sporopollenin. Exin is made up of sporopollenin, and it is the outermost layer of the microspore. And this sporopollenin is secreted by the tapetal wall of the anther. And this exin is provided some protection to the developing microspore. And intine is the innermost layer, which is made up of pectocellulose. So intine is the inner layer of the microspore or sporoderm. Exin is the outermost layer, which is made up of sporopollenin, and its function is protection. So due to the presence of this sporopollenin, the pollen grain's viability is extends for a longer time. So because it protects the pollen grain from physiological or biological activities. And intine is made up of pectocellulose. And now if we will see that after the mitotic division of these tetrads, so here 2 different types of cells are formed: generative cell and tube cell, which are covered by exin. So this is the exin layer. And inner layer is called intine. So exin, intine, and tube cell, which is a larger cell, and generative cell, which is a smaller cell. And in the exin wall, if you will observe, there are some pores or some gaps are present in the exin wall, or these are called weak points. So like this. weak points are present in the exine wall which are called germ pores. Germ pores. So on the basis of the number of germ pores, these types of exine are different types. If there is only one germ pore, it is called monocarpate. Monocarpate. So germ pore is a weak point present on the exine wall. So on the basis of the number of germ pores, there is monocarpate type of exine which is present in monocards. Monocards. And if there are 3 germ pores, so generally there are 2 types of carpates are there or pollen grains are there, with 1 germ pore or with 3 germ pores. So it is tricarpate. Tricarpate. So either 3 or 1. So 3 germ pores are present in dicards. 1 germ pore is present in monocards. And the pollination takes place at this stage after the mitotic division completes or after the formation of generative cell and tube cell. Then at this stage, at the two-celled stage, the remaining process of pollination takes place. And further development of these pollen grains or microspore takes place on the stigma. So pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grains to the stigma. So that means from the anther to the stigma, if the microspores are transferred at this cell stage, at two-celled stage, the further development takes place in the stigma. So stigma is a receptacle point in the female reproductive unit. Stigma is a female part of the flower. So when the pollen grains are reached to the stigma is a moist surface and it provides boron sugars or amino acids and some other proteins, etc. to the pollinating or pollen grains for the development of pollen grains. So here further development completely it takes place in the stigma. So now we will see how the male gametes are formed from the pollen grains. So here now we will take the pollen grain structure, generative cell and tube cell and exine wall also. After reaching the stigma, this exine wall gets degenerated. So now in the stigma there is no exine wall, it disintegrates, and even first the nucleus of the tube cell enters into the stigma and the intine wall comes out as the pollen tube. The structure of pollen grain is completely different in the stigma. So this is the intine wall. Intine wall comes out as a tube-like structure which is called pollen tube. Pollen tube. First, the nucleus of the tube cell enters through the pollen tube and reaches the stigma. After reaching the stigma, it disintegrates immediately or it degenerates. So there is no function of the nucleus of the tube cell. But the nucleus of the generative cell, it undergo mitotic cell division. Mitotic cell division. And from this mitotic cell division, two male gametes are formed. From each generative cell, two male gametes or sperms are formed. So, from this each generative cell, it undergo mitotic cell division. As a result of this, two male gametes are formed. And these two male gametes are reaches to the stigma through the pollen tube. And here, now at the tip of the pollen tube, there two male gametes are present, and the cytoplasm is confined to the tip of the pollen tube. So now cytoplasm along with the two male gametes are present at the tip of the pollen tube, and further reaching up or transferring of these male gametes to the ovary or to the ovules is through the style. So it is at the stigma. So stigma is connected to the style and style is connected to the ovary. So through the style, this pollen tube discharges these male gametes into the style, and then style carry the male gametes to the ovary. And this is the development of male gametophyte. So just I will quickly recall that. So first, primary sporogenous cell, which is in diploid condition. So from this, as a result of mitosis, mitotic cell division, microspore mother cells are produced, and these microspore mother cells, they undergo meiosis, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Here they produces pollen tetrads. Pollen tetrads which are in haploid condition, and from these pollen tetrads, pollen grains are formed. Pollen grains are microspores. Microspores. And from these microspores, due to the mitosis, male gametes. So first it undergoes the mitosis and forms two cells, generative cell and tube cell. And this tube cell get degenerates, and this generative cell undergo mitosis and produces the male gametes. Male gametes are sperms. So here we have to notice that one thing, only once there is a meiotic division takes place, that is when the microspore mother cell From this microspore mother cell, the pollen tetrads are formed. So at this stage, only the meiotic cell division takes place, and remaining all. So there is a incorporation of the same number of chromosomes. So the mitotic cell division takes place, and this is in the matured anther. Up to this, it is in the male reproductive unit, and that is in anther, and the formation of male gametes or sperms takes place in the stigma. So further development or formation of male gametes takes place in the stigma. So here one question they may ask. So in the competitive view, so there is a question: male gametes or sperms in the angiosperms are formed in. So generally we will think about it is in the anther or in the microsporangia. So but actually the answer is in the stigma or in the female reproductive unit. So the sperms are formed in the stigma. Now some pollen products, so which are generally used in the commercial way. So those are pollen food products. So generally the pollen grains consists of carbohydrates, are unsaturated fat. So as it contains carbohydrates, a large number of carbohydrates and unsaturated fats, it is mostly used by the athletes for the quick energy, and also it's given to the race horses. So for the animals also which are participate in the race, or for the athletes, it is given by providing quick energy. These are used in the form of tablets, or it may be in the form of syrups. It is given to the athletes or to the race horses. And another one is pollen cosmetics or creams. So generally the pollen grains are protect themselves from the UV rays. So they have the capacity to protect themselves from the UV rays. So as a result of this UV rays protection, so generally these pollen grains are used in creams or lotions, which are giving the moisturizing creams, especially in the moisturizing creams, they use these pollen grains for the protection of skin. So mostly these are used in the pollen cosmetics. So another one is pollen viability. Pollen viability. So what is pollen viability mean? The time period up to which the pollen grains are functional. So either it is 1 hour or 30 minutes or days or months. So how many days or how many hours it is functional, the pollen grains are be functional. So that is called pollen viability. It is a period of time by which pollen grains are functional. So generally in the angiosperms, the pollen viability is 30 minutes. So up to 30 minutes the pollen grains will be the functional. So after 30 minutes, if it does not reach the stigma or if it doesn't reach the ovary, these pollen grains get degenerates. And pollen allergy. Pollen allergy. So generally we know that when we touch our pollen grains or touch the skin of the human beings, it gets allergy, and this allergy may become high fever. It leads to high fever, and sometimes the breathing problems, and it affects the respiratory tract and also respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchitis. So there is a chance of leading these diseases or respiratory diseases. So especially carrot grass, there is one plant, it is a well-known plant. So carrot grass, or scientifically it is known as Parthenium. And vernacularly in these areas it is called as a Congress plant. So by pollen grains of this plant, so carrot grass plant, it gets easily, we get allergies. So that is a Parthenium. It was incorporated into India along with wheat variety. When we incorporated or we imported wheat variety from the Japan, so along with that wheat, it also imported to India, and rapidly this population of Parthenium gets very rapidly increases. So as a result of these pollen grains, we get allergies and even breathing problems also like asthma and bronchitis. And this is of the male reproductive unit of the flower, that is androecium. And the formation of pollen grains. So next we will see the female reproductive unit. Female reproductive unit in the flower is called pistil, or gynoecium, or carpel. And it consists of 3 parts. Ovary, it's a swollen part of the pistil, and a long thread-like structure called style, and a receptacle at the tip of the pistil. There are 3 parts like stigma, style, and ovary. These 3 together called pistil. And stigma is a receiver of the pollen grains, and style which transfers the pollen grain or male gametes to the ovary. So this is the connection between stigma and ovary. And ovary is the actual part of, it is a swollen part in which the ovules are arranged. So inside the ovary, the ovules are present, from which it is a female gametophyte, or from which the embryo sac or female gametes are formed. And on fertilization, these ovules become seeds and ovary become fruit. And ovary walls of the ovary becomes the fruit wall. So in the next class, we will study the ovule, structure of ovule. Female reproductive unit, actual female reproductive unit is the ovule. It's a structure of ovule, then types of ovules and megasporogenesis. So how the embryo sac is formed and how the egg is formed in the ovule. So these are topics we will discuss in the next topic or next session.